Hi, this is Eric with BC Gurus, and this is part one of web apps, and this is just the introduction video. We're going to talk about what web apps are and their capabilities, as well as what to expect in the rest of this series on web apps. So let's just jump into it. And if you're not familiar with web apps, they're basically a way where you can define a custom data structure, meaning you can set up what fields a web app will have, and each field would represent a piece of data for a specific item. And then you create items within this web app, and you can use those to do a lot of different things and create all sorts of specialized content depending on the needs of your site. You can have multiple layouts for web apps, so you're going to have a couple different list views as well as a details view. You can completely define and customize how you want. You can allow customer submitted items, so just visitors on the site can register for the site and then submit items and to be included in your lists. And you can also just do admin submitted web app items where you're creating them on the back end. They support all sorts of things. You can do paid and free web apps. You can support file uploads when that's appropriate. And then they have extensive things like search and mapping, so people can you can set up specialized searches, and they support Google Maps, so you can show lists of items on maps under certain criteria and things like that. You can use web apps for a lot of different things, so you can create all sorts of directories like a real estate directory or a phone book. We've used these to create member lists and classifieds. There's also, we call these like custom modules, so things that BC supports, so like bookings and events and blogs, that's built into BC, but sometimes those modules don't offer the features that you need or want, and a lot of times you can use web apps to supplement that and create your own module. So we've used these to create blogs and things like that when we didn't want to use the built-in BC blog module. And you can also use them for some other creative things like setting up homepage heroes. We'll show you an example of that. Restaurant menus. Think about when you're setting up a site and you have some complicated content layout that may be difficult for your site owners to manage on their own. Web apps can offer a different way of setting up that content, so that all they have to do is go in and fill in the data for the fields, and they'll always be laid out correctly. So you can get pretty creative with that. So let's I want to show you a couple examples of those things. And so right here, this is a real estate web app, and it's basically a place where you can plan a vacation in France, and all the different locations this site offers are stored in web apps. And so over here we've got a search, and you can see the search can be more than just a plain text field where they're searching for the name or something in the description. You can search by the individual data fields, and for some of the fields you can actually set up ranges. So on this web app there's a field that has the number of bathrooms in each property, and you can actually set up a range-based search, so you can do those types of things. And the search interface is kind of dependent on the field type. We'll get into all that later, but that's why these are checkboxes, and you can do drop downs, so you can get a pretty interesting search. And then over here we've got a basic map output showing the different places within this region, and each one of the points on the map is one of the web app items. So you can also do like a listing view, so that's what we're seeing here, where we're just listing out the items in response to a search, or just creating a static directory. It doesn't have to be search based, but that's kind of what you're seeing here. And you can completely customize this layout and set up your details link, so it'll go right into the details page. For this site, it's a restaurant, and so they've got menus posted on the site, and the menus have this layout that's a little bit complicated for the customer to manage if it was just content on a page. And so we've set these up as web apps, so each item on the menu has a price and a name and a short description, and we've defined the layout, so all they have to do is go in and update those items or add new ones as appropriate. You can see this is kind of where I was talking about the homepage heroes and things like that. This is just on BC Gurus. Each one of these slides within this hero slider is just a different web app item, and we've set the layouts up so they can interface with this JavaScript component and create the different slides out of that. You can see them transitioning. So that's one of those content management type things as well. And then finally, I want to show you an example of a blog we've built with web apps. For this site, again, just BC Gurus, we opted not to use the built-in blog module. We wanted a little bit more flexibility in how we managed our blog, and so we've created essentially a blog out of web apps, and that's what you're seeing here. So web apps are pretty powerful, and with that they give you a lot of different management capabilities as well. So you've got the admin interface on the back end where you can create and manage your items like that. You can export and import your data, and you have full access to all the custom fields and data types you create. And that allows you to do some interesting workflow. So you can export all of your items, work with it in a program like Excel, so you can make mass updates and then just re-import those items, and it'll make the appropriate updates or add new items as necessary. Web apps support categories, so just the built-in Business Catalyst category system. You can classify items and then optionally display items based on those categories. They have start and expiration dates, as well as the enabled and disabled, so you can do future content management and have things that are only available on the site for certain periods of time. When it comes to customer submitted items, you can set it up so they're just approved automatically, or you can set up a workflow system so that when new items are created or existing items are updated, they have to go through an approval process. And they support a couple different orderings, including just the built-in weight ordering, so you can set your ordering very granularly based on items. So that brings us to our table of contents for this video series. The first real video we're going to show is the setup basics, just how to get a web app on the field, or sorry, how to get a web app on the site and created just in a real basic fashion, get you introduced to all those concepts. Then we're going to talk about how to set up all the different custom fields you can add to a web app. We're going to do a video that focuses just on the layouts. Then we're going to talk about all the different module tags, which are basically the way you set up the output for the web app and your options for those. We're going to do a video that covers all the mapping features. We're going to do a video that dives into search and shows you how to set those up and get the specific search functionality that you want. And then we're going to end with a video on user submitted web app items and the things to think about with those and how you get that set up as well. Finally, we have some resources to go along with this video module, and we're going to include some checklists, things to remember and think about when you're creating web apps, as well as some documentation, just a reference set of documentation, some things that go into details that we don't cover in the slides here.